Now, I've been asked the question many times, what is your favorite game of all time? Now, whenever somebody asks me that question, I never really had a straight answer for them. I would always just choose the current game I was playing and then just say that was my favorite. Just because I have a lot of hours in a game doesn't actually mean it's my favorite game of all time. I enjoy playing it for sure, but it doesn't mean it's my favorite. I believe now I can safely say that Terraria is my favorite game of all time. And when the final update for Terraria came out, I decided that it was time to replay the game on the hardest difficulty, mainly to see if I still had the skills that I had 5 years ago when I perfected the game. Terraria Master Mode. Now, for those who are uninitiated, Master Mode is a new mode that was brought out with the Terraria 1.4 patch, the final update. In order of difficulty, we have Normal, Expert, and then Master. To start this no doubt painful journey, I created my character, named him, then created a medium master world. Also, that's the seed if you're interested in playing the same world. Named the world, then chose Corruption instead of Crimson. You'll see why later on. Upon spawning, I chopped down some trees, then immediately went mining in search of a few accessories which offer different bonuses depending on the item. Some make you fast, and others make you jump higher. And others just make you stand on a stool. Yeah, I really don't know why they added that one. I eventually found a cloud in a bottle which allows me to double jump. It was also menacing, which gives me +4 to my damage. I'll get into the adjectives in a second, I promise. Went down further, found a mushroom biome, found a few hearts which increased my maximum health by 20 each, and made sure to mine every possible ore along the way. I then died to a skeleton because I forgot they deal upwards of 70 damage a hit. Great. Also found out that you lose all of your coin when you die, so I needed to keep all my money safe somehow. When I respawned, I started to build a small base with the guide here, then expanded that during the night so I could store all my belongings in chests. When the sun came up, it began to rain and I expanded a little bit more. Look, I promise my T-base will get better. I found a stabby thing which allowed me to deal some more damage and keep some enemies at bay. Found another cloud in a bottle, then a ring chest. Yeah, those are new. And so I ventured all the way back down, found some Hermes boots which allowed me to run, also menacing, and found an Eye of Cthulhu, an item which will summon the first real boss of the game. I used a recall potion and teleported back up to the surface, where I noticed that I had found a gravitation potion. This potion, when used, will allow me to change the effect of gravity. Now, these are mainly used for finding the illustrious floating islands, which hold some pretty cool items. After downing it almost immediately, I find an island, hoping to find the Star Fury on my first go. And I do! I pick up the Star Fury and begin waving it about, causing stars to fall from the sky and damage my enemies. Went back down, made some armor, cut some trees, planted some trees, then expanded my base a little bit more for new NPCs to arrive. After that, I headed back down for some more mining to gather a few more items. And this is where the Star Fury comes in handy. An unintended side effect of this item is that it shines light wherever it lands, allowing me to spam it to find little nooks and crannies with more ore. Or in this case, a small shack housing a mace. I did need to find one of these, so I'm glad I found it now. This will come in handy later, trust me. After finding another pair of Hermes boots and yet another cloud in a bottle, I decide to walk around a bit and find a nymph. A rare spawn which, when killed, gives me a metal detector, allowing me to find new ores. Oh, wait, I died to a boulder. Never mind. Head back down, find a water chest which holds a trident and more gravitation potions, head back up, expand my storage area, drink the potions, find a few more islands, take a breath, whew. Find a shiny red balloon which increases my jump height, and a quick lucky horseshoe which negates all my fall damage and lets me run faster. I upgrade the mace into a flaming mace with 99 torches, go mining, find the last heart I need to get to max 400 health, find a magic mirror which allows for free returning to my spawn point, went all the way to the right of the map and found yet another pair of Hermes boots. You can't make this stuff up. God dang it! It annoyed me then, it annoys me now. When I teleported back, I saw the message indicating that it was time for the first boss battle of the game, the Eye of Cthulhu. I geared up as best I could and waited for it to spawn. When I did, I realized that I wasn't ready at all. Now, this boss has two phases. First, it tends to stay away from you spawning minions and charging occasionally. However, when you deal enough damage to it, it just says, "No, that's it," and gets rid of its spawning ability, opting to just charge at you outright instead. Now, normally these aren't too hard to dodge, but in Master Mode they can be quite tricky. After getting him extremely low, he managed to just deal the last enemy before I was able to finish him. I blame this bit right here, where I wasn't able to get onto the roof and just took too many hits. Disheartened a bit, I went mining again as a goblin army showed up, so I quickly grabbed lava with 2 buckets and plopped them down outside my base for protection. It didn't go so well. Eventually, the goblin army couldn't handle the thin layer of lava and was defeated, allowing me to head outside as it started raining slime. Now, this is a rare event in which if you kill 150 slime, the king slime will spawn. Now, my strategy was very complicated and might be a little bit hard to understand. So let me try and break it down. I chucked grenades and ran away. Laugh what you like, the strategy worked. I defeated him and found the very first relic of this playthrough. Relics are golden statues that you can place to show off to everyone how cool you are. After that, I realized I had a ton of gold and wanted to spend it. I figured the best item I could buy with it all would be the mini shark. A gun that does 6 damage, shoots incredibly fast, and has a 1 in 3 chance to just not consume any ammo when it shoots. This is it in action. I then spawned the eye one more time and killed it in record time. When I killed it, it gave me the Shield of Cthulhu, which allowed me to dash in a direction to avoid attacks and deal damage. Feeling ballsy, I summon him again and promptly kill him again. This mini shark is super damn good. I summon the king slime again to get the final piece of the ninja set, my favorite vanity set, and the slime mount which I'll need for the next boss. Speaking of the next boss, I head over and begin crafting my arena in the corruption. As I create this arena, I'll just give you a little bit of a rundown of the boss I'm about to face. This boss is a giant worm and each piece of him has a different health bar. When a piece of him dies, his body splits into 2, creating 2 smaller worms. And if you split those up, that piece splits into a smaller piece, and so on and so forth. The way around this, however, is to just create a small box and hop inside. Get onto your mount and hold down the left mouse button so your mace swings around in a circle. Then just sit there and watch. As the boss tries to hit me, multiple pieces of it are being hit by the flaming mace, making it quite easy to beat. After I beat the Eater of Worlds, I head back and craft the Shadow set, bumping my defense up to 40. The next night was the Blood Moon. Now for the Blood Moon, I had one specific item I had in mind to grab. The Money Trough. This item pretty much doubles your inventory space so you can hold pretty much double the amount of items. After letting the lava do its thing, I hop on down and grab the Money Trough, which has a 0.05% chance to drop, so 1 in 2,000. That's pretty lucky. Next up was the Elevator, which would allow quick and easy access to Hell via the chute I need to mine out. Along the way, I found yet another nymph, made sure that it didn't fall in lava, then shot it full of lead to find the metal detector. Bought the rocket boots from the Goblin Tinkerer and combined them together to get the Spectre boots. And I got super lucky and got the Warding adjective. Okay, I said I'd get into the adjectives, and now's the time. Almost every item in the game that you can use can also have an adjective assigned to it that gives you a small bonus depending on the adjective. For example, my boots got the Warding modifier, which gives me +4 to my defense. As I was doing the hardest difficulty, I figured I want most, if not all, of my accessories to have this modifier since it's just free defense. To get the money to reforge those items, however, I needed to do some grinding. So I chose the good old Eater of Worlds and defeated him a few more times. After I failed to get the warding buff, I had spent all my money and figured I wanted to try something I've never done before. I wanted to get into the Jungle Temple way too early. Normally the Jungle Temple is for the late game, but there is a trick that you can use to try and get in there early. Using wooden platforms, you can hammer them into stairs, and with a little patience, you can just walk right through the door. Now, as I previously mentioned, this area is for the late game of Terraria, and suffice to say I was a little undergeared. All of these enemies had 3 times the health I did, and no doubt dealt enough damage to one-hit me. So I had to come up with a few ingenious ways to get around them. Blocks. I used blocks. After progressing for a bit, I found a few chests with items that I couldn't use, and decided to just teleport home again. It was a cool experience, but after being hit for 170 damage, I changed my mind pretty quickly. Now during all this, I was a little bit confused. Normally when you defeat the Eater of Worlds, a meteorite falls onto your world, so you can mine it and then get the next set of gear. Now I had seen a meteor fall in the background, but I didn't actually get the message from the game telling me it had landed. I went exploring and noticed the meteor had hit a tree. It had collided with a giant tree, which I assumed stopped the message from showing since it technically didn't hit the ground. I mined most of it out, crafted the meteorite armor, which reduces the mana cost of the space gun to 0. Oh yeah, there's also mana which you can use, which allows you to become a mage and use magical items. I crafted the jungle armor, mined some hellstone while trying not to drown in lava, upgraded all my weapons to multi-weapons, and then crafted the imp staff. Now at this point I wanted to make my base look a little cooler. I grabbed the living wand, which allowed me to place wood down that looked like trees. I then used that to make a giant tree just next to my base and covered the branches with leaves. Next up, I made a little house inside the tree for an NPC, then built an ingredient farm which allows me to grow ingredients for potions. After that, I expanded my storage area, moving all the chests down into their own locations with their own names for easy sorting. During all this, I was farming different bosses because not only did I need more money, I wanted to get all their trophies before moving on to Hardmode. I summoned the King Slime roughly 12 times and didn't get a trophy from any one of them. I summoned the Eye of Cthulhu one time and got it immediately. Now, the trophy has a 1 in 10 chance of being dropped by the King Slime, so I kind of felt a little cheesed off. There's a new feature in Terraria 1.4 called Luck, and this value can be changed and improved by a few factors. Now, I'm not going to go over each way you can increase and decrease your luck, because this isn't the video for that, but there will be a link to that video in the description. So my idea was that because the value of luck fluctuates depending on certain conditions, it's the game's fault. After that, I went and beat the Queen Bee a few times and got her trophy along with the bee armor set. I was getting a bit bored of the King Slime fight, so I went and fought Skeletron, beating it on my first go. Just call me a pro gamer.
We're talking about the last one.
Raided the entire dungeon clean and grabbed as much stuff as I could, finding the mechanic along the way. As I teleported back up to the surface, the Witch Doctor arrived because I invaded the Queen Bee's home and ended her life. I was in the middle of giving him a room until he killed himself for some reason. I did a few more things before the final boss, such as my stupid 3-hour long hunt for this stupid little gnome that's supposed to increase my luck, but the stupid summon creatures killed him twice. Like, I wait for this long and the first thing you guys do is end his life? Like, what? I didn't ask you to do that. And I also fought the Torch God for fun, a minor boss which consists of just placing down 100 torches and just running around. And finally, the final boss of pre-hard mode, the Wall of Flesh. Now, there are a few ways to beat the Wall of Flesh, but I find the easiest to be making a giant path using planter boxes, allowing you to run across them with ease and shoot backwards. The only problem with this is that it takes a very long time to make, and the enemies in hell deal a ton of damage to my weak self. 5 hours spread over 2 days later, I finish the bridge and get everything ready. As I do, however, the Goblin Army message shows up, telling me that my world is being attacked. Can't be that bad, can it? I'll just do it later. I yeet the guide doll into the lava, which ends that poor man's life, to summon the Wall of Flesh. Here's the fight. Now, my main plan is to try and run away and just spam shoot the water bolt, which fires slow moving, piercing blue bolts at him, which deal high damage, and also try to dodge his lasers. I also find it kind of unfair that I have to craft and create all of these weapons and armor to try and defeat this massive demon monster, and he gets a laser machine gun. Like, are you seeing that? Thank you everyone for making it this far. This video took a very long time to make, and by God, I put more effort into this script than some of my final essays for uni. Don't tell my parents that. By the way, King Slime, just see that? The Wall of Flesh dropped his trophy on the first go. What's up with that?